Today on The Big Questions, talking to terrorists, faith at school, and Satan. Good morning. I'm Nicky Campbell. Welcome to The Big Questions. Today we are live from Ormiston Sheffield Community Academy in Walsall. Welcome everybody to The Big Questions this morning. Is it always better to talk to terrorists?
This is really, really important. It's always engage, always trying to find out what it is that motivates people so we can get a consensus and a common ground.
The key thing is to save lives. The question is it always better to talk to terrorists? Of course it's not.
I think that anyone who commits acts of atrocity should be held to justice for it.
The only way we are going to advance as civilization is if we are talking to people who have different viewpoints.
You do not negotiate with people who burn human beings alive.
Julie lost her sister Maxine in the Birmingham pub bombs, not far from here, of course, in Walsall. What was that day like for you?
Well, losing Maxine was, we miss her. We miss her today as we missed her then.
I might have got this wrong. Is there any kind of a moral equivalence between Israel and ISIS? Are you saying that?
Well, it depends. It's subjective to who you speak to, isn't it?
One
person's terrorist is another person's freedom fighter. We know this very well.
I think Islamic State, the best form of negotiation with them should be to bomb them into the dirt in Syria, in Iraq, and in Libya, and anywhere else they appear.
Bomb them into the dirt.
That's what needs to happen.
Andy?
Well, I do think that does ignore the people who live in the dirt, and all the civilian lives will be lost. But
Does faith have any place in schools?
Shouldn't be used as an admission criterion and to indoctrinate the children.
Is it okay for children to be taught that another religion is wrong? Yes or no?
Conceptually, there's nothing wrong with that.
What kind of society do you want, Dilly? I mean, like, if that's
what kind of society
you're
does
willing to
Britain claim?
support.
What kind of society does Britain claim to be?
A pluralist and modern society. That's what we seek.
Oh, well, you justifying murder a few
what you're
months ago, so I'm not
suggesting is the
taking it seriously.
antithesis
You're
of
justifying
that.
murder.
Sorry, don't talk over me.
Wait a minute, I want to hear...
I have been doing some work on the Trojan Horse report.
Yeah.
When I tell you that it's about 21 schools, 14 have been investigated seriously, 6 have been placed in special measures, and another 6 have been severely criticised. We have got an endemic. We've got a problem.
I work in a faith school, and I've worked
Catholic
in
school?
Catholic school, and
Yeah.
I've worked in faith schools for 20 years. And actually, they are not divisive, and a lot of people who have these opinions about faith schools haven't ever stood in a classroom. And I would like to say to you, come into the classroom. Can you see what we teach? We teach, can I say, we teach world religions, we teach critical thinking, we get the kids to evaluate. They talk about Richard Dawkins, they talk about creationism, they critically evaluate in year 8.
I would send my kids to a faith school because they typically do outperform schools which are not faith schools. I would send them there because they're very inclusive. In C of E schools, about 15% of pupils get support for food, which is about the national average. And I would send them also because they are surprisingly inclusive. Most faith schools which are established now have a commitment to take 50% of pupils who are not of the same religion.
Does Satan exist only in our heads? Bogdan, you've seen the devil, haven't you?
It was quite a frightening experience.
Quite frightening.
Yeah, quite frightening.
You see, the danger, the moral consequence of believing in the devil, it's just very easy to blame it on somebody else.
I would want to hang on to the idea that not all evil rests on individual moral choices. I think what we see in institutions, and for that matter, armies and terrorist groups, as we've been talking about, and even in dysfunctional faith schools, is that human beings' collective behaviour can often be quite different from their individual moral choices.
This idea of keeping this supernatural being is something that belongs back in the Middle Ages, and I thought it was really interesting what Bogdan said about how the devil appears to religious people, because it's very interesting that it is those religious people and those people that have that belief and those people that come from that psychological background that experience the devil in specific ways.
It doesn't sum up. It just doesn't make any sense. There's something wrong. If you try to
What
tell
doesn't
me
make any sense?
that is psychological, I don't agree with that. I believe it's quite a lot of it's spiritual as well.
In Christianity, the devil certainly exists, but he is weak. He is there to tempt, he is there to put bad ideas into people's heads. But never historically, culturally, or theologically does he have the power to compel us to do bad things.
One question, one answer, yes or no. Is Satan in the studio today? Anyway, thank you very much. As always, the debates continue online and on Twitter. Next week we're at Cardiff on St David's Day. Join us then. For now, goodbye. Thank you for watching. Goodbye from Walsall and have a great Sunday.